Here we are at the WWE 2K15 panel for the first time ever, mind you, with the man they call Sting. Sting, what's the haps?
This is my debut.
Yeah.
This is a good thing.
You mean your debut with me, right?
Well, you got to sign on the dotted line first, man.
What is it like? Is there any, you always hear wrestlers, no matter how big they are, that go away for a while, when they come back, they're scared that the audience won't remember them. Is it, you talked on the panel about absolutely wanting to do a match for WWE, at least a match. Is there anything in your brain or heart that goes, I hope the WWE audience remembers Sting since you were never here?
Based on what happened at Comic-Con a few weeks ago
Yeah.
with the WWE fans and what happened here today on this panel, SummerSlam panel for 2K15, it doesn't seem like there's any kind of issue. You know,
Yeah.
it seems like they all know, they're all aware, they're all excited. Just this game alone, 2K15, and what has happened.
Yeah.
I mean, the video that was made was outstanding.
Did you watch the episode of Raw where they premiered the video? Did you hear the reaction?
I couldn't watch it at the time because I was flying, but I did hear about the reaction.
Yeah.
Believe me, I heard about it. I heard about it from so many people from all over the place, especially here from WWE.
Now, you answered 100 times this morning, the Undertaker is the guy you'd like to wrestle. My question is, after the Undertaker's WrestleMania streak was broken this year, did that at all play into your mind like, that kind of diminishes my match?
No, it doesn't diminish things. I mean, I did have a moment of, it's over. You know,
Yeah.
I'll never be able to get in the ring with Taker.
Yeah.
But because he lost doesn't mean that he's done or leaving. You know, I
Right.
can't imagine Taker leaving or being done. I just cannot imagine that. I don't know what's going on with him for sure, but man, you know, I think Taker versus Sting doesn't need a streak storyline.
Right.
We just need Taker and Sting, and that's it.
And it's the match that people have been waiting for years.
That's what I believe, yeah.
Is there any part of you, are there guys on the current roster, not guys that have been around forever, are the guys like John Cena, even the newer guys like Roman Reigns, are there guys that you'd like to get in the ring with, or are you kind of saying, you know what, I got one left in me, this is the one that didn't happen, and that's what I'm here to do?
You know, I think a guy from, you know, my generation, it only makes sense, not just to me, but I think to wrestling fans too, to see me wrestle somebody from my own generation.
Right.
I mean, somebody that I've never wrestled, most important.
Yeah.
But secondly, from my generation, and I think that would be first choice even for wrestling fans,
Yeah.
to be quite honest.
What was the feeling, the last episode of Nitro, which you brought up today when you were talking about Ric Flair, what was the feeling going on in your head when you knew that this was your last match in WCW, this is it?
It was surreal.
Yeah.
You know, I always use that term, and that's exactly what it was, because you're a second-class citizen for a lot of years. You launch a big show called Monday Nitro. You become a first-class citizen, and then slowly but surely the ship starts to sink, and you're being bought out, and it's over. And it was almost like the enemy was coming in to,
Right.
you know, take the women and children hostage and, you know, torture all of us, you know. That's what it felt like, so it was surreal.
And was there never a thought at that point where you like, well, you know, this means I'm just going to take some time off? Or was it just you couldn't come to terms with WWE?
I had a contract for 18 more months at that point that was not assumable by anything other than another Ted Turner entity.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I guess Vince would have had the choice to, you know,
Buy it out.
pay me, you know, X amount of millions of dollars or whatever, you know, to get me to, yeah, he could have done that, but
He's not likely to.
it didn't happen.
Yeah.
I, you know, maybe he was just waiting to see if I'd, you know, come around. And we did talk. We did talk at one point after all of that, when the contract was completely over with, and I was very, very close.
But that just didn't happen. Last question, and this is something I've been curious about for a long time. The build-up between you and Hollywood Hogan was one of the best build-ups to a match in wrestling history. How do you feel about the way it finished in that match? The Starrcade match, obviously.
Yeah, well, you know what? When the build-up is as good as it was,
Yeah.
you have to definitely deliver.
Yeah.
And, you know, unfortunately, that was a sign of things to come. kind of what was going on, because suddenly the unity that we had, all around, kind of started to go by the wayside, and there were sudden problems, with lots of different people, and so, man, it was kind of a rough day that day, kind of an unknown for everybody.
Yeah.
What makes the most sense? What are we going to do here? Do we need to change it? It's like, what?
We built this up for a year, and today we're deciding this?
Right, yeah. So it was all a lot of last minute stuff,
Yeah.
and then some of the timing got messed up on some of the finished stuff and all that. So I was a little frustrated with the ultimate delivery,
Right.
I wanted to be able to deliver what the build-up built.
Well, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad I finally got the chance to talk to you, and hopefully we'll get to do this again.
Yeah.
And congrats on 2K15.
Thank you. It's good to be a part of it.
All right, buddy.